Hello friends! Have you ever wondered how dominance sounds like? In the previous video we saw how dominance looks like. Here we will see how dominance speaks. Let's start. Leading, similar to the previous video, but here it refers to leading the conversation. Conversations have a few basics such as the topic, the tempo and the tone, and the dominant individuals tend to either dictate them or to influence them heavily. This is especially true in one-on-one conversation. Why so? Because in group conversation you can often have the jester and the loudmouth. These guys talk most of the times. In those situations, the dominant man might just call himself out of the rat race for attention, and he might just decide to sit quietly instead. Leading the conversation is the clearest when you observe journalists at work. Here is an example.
To look at the difference.
It's worse?
I think so, of course. Look at valuations are higher.
The risk, hang on a second, the risk of something calamitous happening to financial markets is greater today than it was in 2007.
You're falling from higher because you're falling from much higher. You see, you have a huge rise, considerable rise in the stock market that you may have to unwind.
If that's the case, the VIX, hang on a second.
Yes.
If that's the case, the VIX at 15, which is where it's at today, is
the at-the-money
cheap?
VIX.
Imposing your frame on the interaction is another example of social power. This is a very interesting video from a point of view of power dynamics. Albeit, I must preface it again here by saying that you should not approach most social interaction with a mindset of imposing your frame.
Oh, you want one?
It's 8:15 a.m.
Was there something wrong with a man enjoying a drink in the morning?
No. Thank you. Sure, thanks.
Drinking at 8:15 in the morning is not normal indeed, but thanks to his rank and to his greater social power, he manages to impose it as normal. Staying on the topic of social clashes, correcting and contradicting are also great examples of social power and dominance. Here is a wonderful example from Meet the Parents.
I really admire that.
Yeah.
So what is it? What's the new venture?
Let me ask you a question, Greg. Let's just say you have kids and you want to get out of the house, spend a night on the town, you know. So you hire a babysitter, someone you think you can trust. References, work experience, it all checks out fine. But then how do you really know for certain that your loved ones are safe with a stranger? I mean, can you ever really trust another human being, Greg?
Sure, I think so.
No, the answer is you cannot.
Socially powerful individual will be assertive in reaching their goals. They take responsibility, so they want to make sure they understand. And since they are less dependent on other people's judgment, they are not afraid of asking clarifying questions, even if those questions may sound simple or silly. But mostly there are two interesting techniques here that I want to share with you. One is repeating the message word for word. Imagine that some people pretend they didn't understand you, or they didn't hear you, or they just ignore you. What you want to do here is to simply repeat the message word for word without paraphrasing. But this time, just repeat it with a more dominant tone and expect them to fall in line. Here is a beautiful example from Theresa May.
I've listened very carefully to what has been said in this chamber and out of it. To what has been said in this chamber and out of it by members from all sides. From listening to those views...
The second technique is similar and you will use it to handle those people who are trying to evade your question. What you will do is that you will simply ignore their excuse and you will pause your question again, expecting a reply. Here is a good example.
Would you care to hang on to it for a while? It wouldn't be legal, but if it makes you feel better, I guess.
Well, thanks. I got one now.
You went out this morning and bought a gun?
What? I didn't hear you.
You went out this morning and bought a gun?
Well, let's say I got one now, okay?
Somebody loan it to you?
Yeah.
Words can be used to put social pressure on others. Look at this scene.
What are you driving there, Ford?
Oh, yeah, it's a Taurus. Yeah, we were gonna get a mid-size, but I figure, hey, I'm pulling down decent bucks. Might as well go all out, pop for the full size.
Sure. Oh. Interesting color. You pick it?
Oh, no, the guy at the counter. Why?
No, they say geniuses pick green. But you didn't pick it.
Jack.
The social pressure in this scene obviously shows who is the dominant one, Robert De Niro, and who is the subservient one, Ben Stiller. Again, we go back to the law of social effort here. The ultimate archetype of socially powerful men don't gush. They use fewer words and use lots of pauses. We could use The Godfather again as an example of using fewer words. But this time, let's go for something different. I really love this scene. Joey Pesci says all there is to say with little words, great eye contact, and lots of pauses.
They were gonna try to bang us out of 200 fucking grand? Yeah, right, I'm sure.
Hey, Eddie. How are you? What are you doing here?
I'm over here now.
You're over here?
You're over here?
Yeah, I'm over here with him.
Whoa. We're waiting on Carmine.
Yeah, we're looking for Carmine.
He was here before. I saw him. He had a suitcase and everything, and then he left.
Carmine left?
Huh?
Carmine left.
He's gone.
It's not here.
Carmine's out.
I think, maybe he went across the street or somewhere else or something.
Well, listen, good luck with the joint, huh?
Oh, thanks, Eddie.
Yeah, lots of luck.
Hey, right, Jerry. Good luck to you, too.
Hey, they forgot to sign their paper.
This is the perfect example of communicating by removing words. Finally, dominance and social power are also about avoiding submission. I wanted to show here a few great examples on how to avoid submission. For example, when you reply to a bunch of questions in a row and you give all the information you have, you look submissive. Socially powerful men, and especially the socially shrewd ones, will take more liberties in their reply. It's as if they wanted to stress their independence, their power, and their free will. Look at this example.
This is the latest I've been up in quite a while. I even had to take a little disco nap. Do you remember those? My spies told me you were quite the regular at Studio 54. That must have been an amazing time. Why don't you tell me about that?
What is there to remember? Martha Graham's face, Andy Warhol's wig. That's about it. I rarely think about the past. What I care about, what can happen today, tonight. What may happen tomorrow. Yes?
Yes.
Alexander comes out looking super powerful, both from a social dynamic point of view and from an intellectual point of view. Intellectual dominance is all the more important for older men, by the way. It's because it becomes expected as you grow older that you also grow your wisdom, your knowledge, and your intellectual power. And there is another wonderful example from Jackie Brown. Watch it and see if you recognize the verbal power move.
Madrid or Barcelona?
Madrid first. Have you been there?
I hear they don't eat dinner until midnight.
You want to go?
Thanks, but you have a good time.
In this example, if he had replied no, he would have followed their lead, while at the same time decreasing his own value. The way he answers instead presupposes the no, but he presents himself as a strong and independent man who does not follow her lead. This, of course, is especially important in seduction, where women do not like men who follow their lead. Women like men who make them follow their lead. Alright guys, this is a preview from Module 1 of the Social Power course. Social Power has tons of information and examples to help you become the most powerful version of yourself. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe, share it or like it. It will help me hugely in keep doing this stuff. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!